Okay, I'm Nick Fitzgerald. I'm currently a PhD student at University of Tasmania. Yeah, I was contacted by the Wilderness Society. Liz contacted me and said that the community up here at Lapoinya were keen for the Wilderness Society to come up and visit and see their threatened forest, and they were really interested in a carbon accounting project, so they could, because they're looking at the economic values of the forest, and they thought that the forest carbon was a important part of that story. So we've been doing carbon accounting for a number of years now, and we have some regulars who have been along on numerous occasions and spent many hours in the forest, many days, measuring trees in different sort of circumstances. So we've got a good core group of people, but we haven't been carbon accounting for a couple of years, and up here at Lapoinya we had about half the people were here are local people who hadn't been involved with carbon accounting before. So we had a majority of people who were new to it, and they picked it up really quickly, and we find it seems to be a really effective model, having a handful of people who are familiar with the process, so they can work in teams with the new people, and that way they learn on the job, and it all comes together really quickly instead of trying to teach people by giving them lengthy lectures.
We're going to walk down to mains.
Yep.
Okay. All this has been logged. They've come right to mains, right onto it, and they've put a plantation right into. Take a look at this. This is plantation in here. Do not believe this colour. They have taken the pine trees within inches of Mains Creek. There is not a native strip of bush through the pine plantation. So you start poaching mains, and you take this all out of production here, okay, for the freshwater crayfish, and you've taken out a major section of breeding ground for the freshwater crayfish, because they exist in the reserve. They breed here.
Half of the dry weight of a tree is carbon, so there's a fairly simple sort of relationship there. So a big tree can be many tonnes, dozens of tonnes of carbon stored in that wood. What we're trying to get is a snapshot of the carbon that's above ground, so we can't really measure the roots of the trees and the carbon in the soil. That's really difficult, so and that sort of stuff's more stable. We're more interested in what's going to get knocked over and bulldozed if the area's logged.
Wouldn't be a Vivalian or something, would it?
Zaire. No, they're usually bushier than that.
Yeah, no, it's not a Zaire, the leaf formation's different.
Yeah.
The next step.
If it's a Vivalian, it's a very tall one.
I reckon it's a Vivalian. It's the same as
You probably see by looking back at me, just keep that line, and then look ahead and see which side of which tree you need to go to. Bit to your left.
Okay, that's that one done.
Because we're actually very close to these.
But no one's been over there. That's what they were saying.
People's biggest concern is to try to get the measurement really right for this forest, because so much hangs on the numbers that are going to come out here. It could make or it could break this forest. If the numbers don't crunch correctly and we don't have a representative sample and we can't be scientifically and rigorously audited, then there's people are going to poke holes in it and say, oh no, you didn't get that.
34, Jill.
All right, let's go. We've just done the 30-metre plot where we've measured the alive and the living and the deadwood in one of our quadrants, but we also now need to see if there's any trees over a metre in diameter in a 60-metre radius from the centre point. So we're just about to go and measure from our 30-metre boundary another 30 metres, and then we'll scout around in that circle to look for some 1 metre trees and measure them. So we've got a little bit of getting through the bush now.
They might see when you get down into the gully. Sometimes you get ones that
Got left, yeah.
yeah,
No, I've been,
rather than too high.
okay, coming around there. So,
Yeah.
turn her over.
I got, yeah, see, I only got
87.
89.
89.
89.
Yeah.
One was solid too. They've all been solid, sorry, Cynthia.
All right, okay. You winding, John? Yes. In the centre of the plot. There's just a few more with it. Oh, bugger. Uh-oh. 95 wide.
People got right into it and took it very seriously and measured hundreds of trees and hundreds of fallen logs, and it's a lot of work when you add it all up. So we've got some really good data. We've covered a fair proportion of the proposed logging area with our measurements, and I think the 6 plots we've done, it's a really good achievement for the weekend, and that'll be useful data. So we'll get in there during the week and type all of that up and crunch the numbers and sort of come up with some carbon estimates. And I think just doing that 7th plot in a couple of weeks' time will just improve things, because you can always have more measurements, the more the better. But yeah, it's been a really great outcome, and we'll keep you informed about the results.
So can we give each other all a big clap? Thank you, thank you, thank you.